Hello, everyone. This is Andreas Pop Culture Guy. This is finally the Andreas Pop Culture Respect Review. This is celebrating Halloween. This is my celebration of Halloween, the 12 Days of Halloween marathon that I'm doing this. And if you saw my shirt, I discussed that I'm doing uh, this celebration of Halloween movies that I'm going to discuss, either live stream. Well, I already did for Nightmare on Elm Street for its 45th anniversary, or doing movie reviews or respect reviews. And so I had done so far three movie reviews. I did Nightmare on Elm Street, the original 1984 classic for 40th anniversary. I did Friday the 13th. And then yesterday, I just posted the Sleepy Hollow 25th anniversary. So today, to continue the 12 days, I'm going to start. The first one out of these is the Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984 classic film directed by Wes Craven, starring Heather Langenkamp, Robert Englund, and the film debut of Johnny Depp. And this is for the 40th anniversary, which is crazy. So sit tight, grab popcorn, or, or drink a Coke or Fanta, or enjoy this retrospective review on Nightmare on Elm Street. So I think it's no secret, like Nightmare on Elm Street for me and for everyone else in the horror genre is the best slasher classic horror film of all time. Of course, written and directed by Wes Craven, who gave us the iconic slasher Freddy Krueger, which has been followed by six sequels and one crossover in the New Line Cinnamon studio. And of course, we got a remake, but whatever, the remake is really bad. So I highly recommend just watch the crossover and the six sequels, but not the remake. Remake is really bad, the 2010 one. But anyway, after this is of the first film, like that film cost a lot of money. It crossed over 57.7 or 5 million worldwide, and so the sequel. So we got sequels of you know of the Nightmare on Elm Street, and of course, it became the outgoing franchise uh, that we know today. And so yeah, so despite that, despite the sequels maybe not as good as the good film of the original was released, I can give you my top five films of the Nightmare franchise. So first off, it'll be Nightmare 3, Dream Warriors, the original New Nightmare, the 1994 film, which also has 30th anniversary, which I'll discuss towards the end of the 12 Days Halloween marathon, and then Dream Master and Freddy vs. Highly recommend watching those. Those are the best for Freddy Krueger. Now, the first film is so original, realistic, and overall terrifying horror classic slasher flick that is actually happening in dreams. A sociopath child killer with a sharp claw glove who has knives instead of for a fingers can enter into your dreams. If he kills you in your dreams, you're dead for real. The main protagonist that we follow is Nancy Thompson, a teenager where her friends started to die one by one from Freddy Krueger. She tries to warn people from Freddy coming into their dreams, but no one listens to her, not even her police cop father, Sheriff Thompson. So, anyway, so yeah, it's not even her mom and her friends, right? So her parents hold a dark secret from her long ago that she's alone in this, and she has to find him by herself by going back in her dreams and get Freddy out of her dream into the real world. We see towards the end of the film. Nancy, the character, is so clever. One of the best final girls ever that Craven created after seeing Francis Scott in the Scream franchise. Smart and tense and carefully. She was awesome. Unique, legendary heroine that we see how she's put booby traps in the film for Freddy, which is awesome and a really clever way to make your character uh, awesome for a long decade. Now, so I did bring up, Heather Langenkamp. Heather Langenkamp is excellent in her role as the main protagonist in this film. She's legendary, unique teen heroine, very attractive, gives 100% as Tia's friend Nancy Thompson. You didn't never expect this character to be the lead lady. I will get into that. You initially thought it would be Tina Gray being the main protagonist, played by Amanda Wesh, but just like Scream and several other horror films, they always kind of did this. You expect that this one character is going to be our lead, but no, it's actually the other one. So it's kind of cool to see this revolution. Um, of course, Tia's friend Nessie Thompson, who starts to have the same nightmares, uh, as anyone else. So then we get into the MVP, the one that I think a lot of people want me to talk about is Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. The actor's contribution to the character is 100 super excellent. I mean, I think that Freddy Krueger and everyone else that it's Robert Englund. Vice versa, even though a lot of his moments in this film are about injecting scary visual presence, he also creates a mystic feel to it before the film's revelation. Who is he? Where did he come from? Why he's doing these things? After the third film of the series, Alien could become a Hollywood star and a horror icon, which I think is deserving. For me and everyone else, I think had to agree that Robert Englund will be the only Freddy Krueger, and I love him in all the Nightmare films that I have seen. Plus, to discuss the other additional cast members, I think John Saxon as Lieutenant Donald Thomas, Nancy Daughter, was fantastic. He really delivers a very cold but loving father that does care about his kid and the safety of the people of Elm Street. And his role in his performance here is great, and he's also great in Nightmare Dream Warriors as well. And then plus, I brought this up earlier. Tina Gray, played by Amanda West, is really good in her role. For the short time she does, she delivers a frightening performance and a very realistic teenager um, performance we see in films. Then, to wrap up, then there's Johnny Depp in his first role in the film as Glenn Lance. Was awesome. He has a lot in the film. Like he stays in the film up to really the third act for his death. Like so he's actually in the film a lot. So I was kind of surprised when I saw this film full. I seen bits of the first film and like clips and all that, but watching the first film for the live stream view and then for the Retrospective review, I was kind of surprised how much Johnny Depp was in this film. So it was pretty cool. Plus, the score. Score is really great. I love the main theme from the Nightmare Elm Street from Charles Bernstein, and I love the song of the credits in the Nightmare by 213. So, yeah, so really fantastic. And what makes the Nightmare on Elm Street so clever is how it creates an entirely new convention for representing dreams on the screen. The dreaming scenes were filmed with a eerie, murky quality, but so many of the waking scenes making it very difficult to tell either the character is awake or asleep. Indeed, the movie never shows any character actually fall asleep. As a result, we are constantly on guard whenever the characters are so much as close their eyes for a moment and in crucial scenes, it's impossible to tell either what we're seeing is real or happening only in the character's mind, which is really like tense, but also really cool how they set that up. But the film's ultimate suggests that the difference doesn't matter. The premise of the film, in which the child killer haunts the teenager's dreams and has the capability of killing them while they're asleep, turns the whole uh, around as it's just a dream convention on his head. But in this film, the real world is safe, but the dream world is monsterly dangerous when Freddy Krueger's in it. Then the movie finds a number of ways to explore this ambiguity, including the bathtub scene that's famous, that invites comparisons with the shower scene in the cycle, without being a cheap ripoff, which I personally agree is not cheap. It's a really good like homage, but also revenge of that. My personal favorite scene and one of the greatest scares I ever seen in the film is where when Desi goes up in the classroom while a student is standing up in front of the class reading the passage from Shakespeare. The way the scene transitions from the real classroom to a nightmarish version of it is brilliant, subtle, and get into that dream is fantastic. One of the best from Craven. So, and speaking of Craven, Craven fortunately passed away 9 years ago in the 2015, and August of all days, and he's fantastic. He's the reason that this film really works. What makes the director Wes Craven understood that the anticipation of danger is usually more frightening than the final attack, and he knows that. There are some great visual shots and to that effect, including the one where Freddy's arms become unnaturally long in the alleyway, and another where the stairs literally turn into gooey substance. In yeah, in in the imitation of the common nightmare, where it's hard to get away from a pursuer. The movie continually finds creative ways to tease the audience, never restoring to a red herring, that tired old convention used in almost all the other slasher films during the mid 70s to the early 80s. Now, to wrap up everything, and it's pretty obvious, Nightmare on Elm Street is the best classic slasher film of all time. I think it's my first top tier for me, top five. Um, One of the best horror movies ever made. It's one of my personal favorite horror movies. I definitely have to say that. My number one horror film in the franchise. Well, number two, I had to say. Like number one is Nightmare Tree Dream Wars. That was the one that got me into Freddy Krueger in the franchise. Um, but yeah, it's always going to be the best one of the series, and I have always enjoyed seeing this film. And thank God I see the full package. It's entertaining, fast paced, not boring, not even a long film, but short and very intense from the beginning to the end. Love this film so much. I highly recommend it. If I had to do a grading, it's definitely a 10 out of 10. And yeah. So thank you guys for joining this awesome Nightmare on Elm Street, the 1984 film 40th anniversary retrospective slash review for me. There's going to be more this month, hopefully. The next one I could definitely guarantee is Sleepy Hollow um, for maybe next week. Yeah. But thank you guys for joining me this Nightmare on Elm Street 40th anniversary retrospective slash review. I'll see you guys soon. More content is on the way. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, everyone. Love you. Ciao.